Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Run.down. I'm your host, Iris, doing it solo tonight. The Knicks lose in what can probably be described as the worst loss of the season after yesterday, which was the worst loss of the season. 115-98 to the Hornets. I'm just going to get into it. uh, this It just feels like this team is limping to the finish here. Now I can understand the idea that they don't have really anything to play for. They're going to be the third team in all likelihood. They're going to be a home court advantage team. I think a lot of us expect that they're going to lose to the Celtics in round two. And that's fine and good. But at the same time, I also think it's fair to acknowledge the fact that this team just looks completely lifeless and uninspired. I think this coach looks lifeless and uninspired. I just don't understand a lot of the decision making this team has been doing. And I feel like, again, this all comes back to coaching. I don't think Tim should be coaching this team after the conclusion of the season. I don't think he's earned it. I don't think he's done his job in an admirable manner. I don't think he's done anything to maximize the talent of this team. I think he's been largely uninspiring. I think his principles have been outdated. I think he just has not put this team in a position to win, and not only to win, but to be successful. And the process has just been completely lacking from the team. I cannot understand for the life of me why Miles McBride is starting at point guard. I cannot understand for the life of me why Precious Achiuwa is getting minutes next to non-shooters. I don't know how we are running 3 non-shooters in 2025 for whatever reason to maintain defensive rebounding integrity. It doesn't make any sense. This team is top-heavy and bad. How are you top-heavy and bad? How are you top-heavy and 3 of your 4 top guys cannot do anything when somebody digs at them in the half court? How are you running an offense where nobody can create advantages? And the only guy who can somewhat create advantages is being parked at the baseline. It doesn't make any sense. Nothing he does makes any sense. Nothing. Nothing he does has a shred of logic to it, has a shred of 2025 NBA basketball. Nothing he does has made any sense the entire season, and he's been coasting on talent. He has been absolutely coasting on the fact that this team has 5 top 100 players, and he has a superstar in Jalen Brunson. And as soon as Jalen Brunson misses extended time, and this is the first extended time he's missed in his Knicks career, this team looks lost. This team looks absolutely lost. They look completely inept. And while Karl-Anthony Towns has been doing his best, I mean, he's still giving you his consistent scoring. Nobody else can realistically join him. Nobody else is capable of really doing anything in the half court. And you have guys who are overextending themselves trying to make something happen, and they just can't do it. Credit to Mikal Bridges. I mean, he's trying his best. He's trying his best. OG's having to take 12 threes because nobody else on this team really wants to take threes. Why is Karl-Anthony Towns taking 4 threes in 36 minutes? What's happening? What is happening? I don't know what's happening. I cannot understand why we're here at this point. What happened to this team? What happened to Tibbs? What happened to Tibbs? Last year's Tibbs and this year's Tibbs are 2 completely different Tibbs. I don't know. I don't know. I wish I knew, but I don't know. And the fact that this team looks that inept without Brunson is damning on Tibbs. And if you think about it, aside from the Sacramento game, when have you felt positive about this team's outlook? I don't think they've had good games. I think the fact that you have to go to overtime against the Blazers is damning. I think the fact that the Clippers basically waxed you. The Heat game was good, but I mean, that first quarter was atrocious. I saw the Spurs game up close. That was not pretty to watch. It was a complete malfunction in pick and pop coverage to where Sandro Mamu, I'm going to butcher his name, so I'm not going to say it, is torching you for 34 points on 7 of 7 from 3. And in this game, you have what's a Nick? Oh, is it Nick? Daquan Jeffries going up for 14 points. Nick Smith Jr. is giving you 13. They just look completely uninspired. They look completely uninspired. They look completely inept. This bench is atrocious. This bench is atrocious. A bunch of guys are being overextended in ways that they should not be overextended. And the guys that should be getting at least more of a rope to do things on offense are being resorted to catch and shoot guys, mostly stationary, uninvolved in the offense unless Brunson deems it worthy. And if you have guys like Mikal Bridges who can legitimately pass the ball, not well, but they can pass the ball well enough to be a secondary playmaker. They can run pick and roll competently. You have guys like OG Anunoby, who's maybe not the best as a ball handler, but he could do things as a screener. He could do things as a shooter, as a roller. And they're just being used in completely inept ways. I wish I had answers. I don't have any answers. But it's clear that Tibbs doesn't. And it's very clear that this game has passed him by. He's going to be 70 years old. He's only made the conference finals once. I do not understand the idea that this team somehow, some way cannot replace him, or that he's been doing his job to the best of his ability. This team has sucked. This team has sucked. And not only have they sucked, they look completely outmatched. And they look outmatched by teams that should be better than just based on talent alone. And when you're struggling to this degree, you have to blame the coach. You have to blame the coach. Because I don't think roster construction is as big of an issue as just the pure coaching, just the way the roster is being managed and utilized and deployed. Hawkeye 420. I need Drew McIntyre to hit tips. Me too. Me too. Kikuro, absolutely atrocious 2 games. One in particular was ridiculous. Hornets weren't even playing well. We were just that god-awful. Yeah, I mean, they had no ability to shoot. Credit to them, they at least got to the line a decent amount. But it just kind of seems like the offense was stagnant, and there was no lineups that were made to juice offense. There wasn't any opportunity for guys to play at a 5-out. There wasn't any opportunity for guys to at least have better chances of going downhill. It was just, we're going to play with one of Hart or Precious on the court at all times. We're going to put them in situations where they're playing on the court sometimes together, and we're just going to forget offense. I've never seen a coach this successful while forgetting the fact that offense needs to be played. He does not care about offense. That's the only way you can put it. Tibbs does not care about offense. He does not care about the fact that guys take threes. He doesn't care about the fact that spacing is at a premium in today's NBA. He cares about defense and rebounding and size. And these are the only 3 things that he values, and everything else can go by the wayside. And the team struggles. The team struggles when you're asking guys like Deuce McBride, who can't dribble in the half court, to have to create against defenses like this. You're asking guys like Mikal Bridges struggles with dribbling. Deuce McBride struggles with dribbling. OG Anunoby struggles with dribbling. And now you're going to ask them, hey, you need to go dribble through multiple bodies because everybody is sagged off in the paint because you have Precious fucking Achua and Josh Hart playing together on the court. Because somehow, some way, you need the rebounding that bad. I'm not saying rebounding isn't important, but you have to be able to shoot in today's NBA. And if you can't shoot, you need to be able to do everything else. You can live with Josh Hart. You can't live with Josh Hart and Precious Achua. You just have 2 guys who are just not willing to do anything with the ball in their hands and who are not threats defensively. That's just not how you can have a lineup crafted today in today's NBA. Isaiah, these Precious and Hart lineups are absolutely brutal, and the fact teams keep going to them is insane. So I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Just making sure I'm not crazy, because we have seen Hart Precious Mitch. We have seen Hart Precious Achua. We have seen Achua Sims. We have seen Achua Huck 40. I cannot understand why we keep doing this. I can't understand it. And it's not like last year where it was like, okay, Hart Precious and iHeart were like guys can pass and guys can leverage the leverage space. Hart can pass, but none of those other guys can really pass. It at least works for Hart and Mitch because you have to guard Mitch like he as a vertical spacer and as a rebounder. But Precious doesn't have that, so you're just creating a situation where guys just feel like they have to sag, and he just keeps running it over and over again. And then they're just going to talk about effort, and we need to come up with the same energy. Dude, change something, switch something up. We're going to stay in third place as the Bucks have been choking, so why not play Kolek? Can't stand tips in the stands. Kolek's not an NBA player. I don't care about Tyler Kolek minutes. I'm sorry. He'll play towards the end of the season. I really could not give a shit. Tyler Kolek is not an NBA player. Tyler Kolek is 6'1", 185 pounds, and cannot do anything in the half court. I don't care about giving Tyler Kolek minutes because he's not going to help this team at all. He's not going to help this team at all. It's hand-wringing for the sake of hand-wringing. There are many things to be upset about with Tibbs. I have not liked him this entire season. I can admit that. Tyler Kolek playing is not one of them. I do not care if Tyler Kolek plays a minute. I don't think he should have been drafted. I thought they wasted the pick at 34. I've said this publicly. I've said this on my Twitter. I didn't like the pick. It didn't make any sense to me. I don't understand why you're drafting a short guard. Enough with the short guards. Enough with the lack of size on the perimeter. I don't care about Tyler Kolek. I'm sorry. Hollis and Martin look like they're capable of playing together. It's because they don't have Jalen Brunson. And this is the problem. Like, they haven't had Jalen Brunson for a 2-week stretch now, and they look completely inept. But he's been shooting, so he's probably going to be fine the beginning of April. Hopefully enough for him to get all NBA considerations. I think Towns is already qualified, and if he hasn't, he's probably right there. He might have gotten there tonight. No, he's a couple games off. But yeah, like it's the fact that they're looking this bad without Jalen Brunson just kind of shows you how good Jalen Brunson is, because none of those guys can dribble on the half court, and somehow, some way, he's been making it work. Neo Schmidt, the Knicks did it. Now I have to live in constant fear of the Detroit Pistons. I don't think the Pistons are going to be an issue. Even if we get the Pistons, I still think the Knicks are going to win if Brunson's healthy, and I don't think that would be much of a series. Obviously, they're a good team, but I still think they need some more offensively, and they don't have that. Meanwhile, I don't think the Knicks are a bad defensive team. That's clearly shown by the stretch. Nick, we lost our passionate teams. Like, I can understand them kind of taking it easy because it's March and they're just kind of trying to preserve their bodies, but the coaches are taking it easy. That's my gripe, where it's okay, if you're going to play this kind of basketball when it looks largely uninspired, then why are guys playing 39 minutes and 35 minutes and 37 minutes? Why are you not going deeper into the bench? I don't know. Kid Kuro again. This team was lost without Brunson to pretty much throw in the towel with the slightest bit of adversity. There's not even any cohesion on offense and defense. It's March, fam. Yeah. Yep. Age 22 went from one of the best benches in the league to all time one of the worst benches in the league. And even when this team's healthy, their bench is not good. Their bench is not good. You can't salvage having a bench this bad. You cannot salvage having a bench this bad. Can't face trying his best. He can't buoy a bench unit. Landry Shamet is inconsistent, and he also only takes like 3 shots a game. Precious Achua is destined for a Guantanamo Bay sentence, and I'm probably putting that lightly. Even when Deuce comes off the bench, he's not a scorer. He's been atrocious since the start of the calendar year at 50 true shooting. So there's just no scoring on this bench. There's a lot of defense, or a decent amount of defense. When you look at like Deuce and Mitch coming off the bench, there's decent defense. I don't have a problem with those guys being in a playoff rotation, but the depth of this bench is just completely missing. Jordan Budd, Jaquan Gabry gave us 10 points. Rick James, this is living off all-star PGs and teams playing really hard for him. Same offense and defense as the early 2000s. Just no scheme. I agree. Nemo, we need marks. Yes, I had marks yesterday to mask the pain of me paying $750 for near courtside seats to watch them get blown out by 20 and to watch Mamu drop 34 on us in 19 minutes. You would need a Marg too if you did that. They haven't won since I've been in San Antonio, so fun times. H22, I really do think we could have done better with our bench in the offseason. In fairness, the bench got uphauled completely the day before training camp. And I mean, Shamit dislocated his shoulder in preseason. Deuce didn't take the leap that I think a lot of people thought he would take, maybe internally. He hasn't taken that leap. In fact, he's regressed. Campaign was fine until the All-Star break, and then the All-Star break came, and he's been atrocious ever since. Mitch was hurt. Precious was bad and overextended. Precious was fine as the bench big, but then he started to play the 4, and that's when it kind of fell off the rails, which is what we learned last season, and somehow we keep doing it over and over again. I don't think there's much we could have done with the bench, just given the fact that a quarter of the roster is rookies, and then you have, like, your depth guys are just not there, and maybe you need another offseason to kind of address those needs, but I don't know how much more you can do with the bench. A lot of minimum guys are not really that helpful for contending teams. Tibbs needs to get out now before we sink completely. I think Tibbs is fired after this season. Or if he's not fired, he moves to the front office. And I think it's best for both parties. Kid Curl, I understand games being harder without Brunson, but that's no excuse for the lack of effort from the team. There's like a bunch of guys playing pickup at the YMCA for the first time ever out there. When you can't create advantages in the half court, you need to be able to just shoot threes. That's kind of been what the NBA has taught us the last couple of years, which is, okay, if you struggle being able to get paint touches and rim reads and break down defenses, shoot a lot of threes. And the Knicks shoot. They have good shooters. They should be shooting more threes than they do. To his credit, OG nearly took a third of the threes the Knicks took. So I don't understand what's going on. They should just shoot more threes. And they don't shoot enough threes. Hi, I see Eel, Tips is doo-doo. H22, Bridges plays like that. Too many demand the ball and stop trying to go. It's so annoying. I mean, I think he tries to pick and choose his spots. I don't think he had any issues with playing aggressive today. He got to the line 8 times. I just think there needs to be more of a considered effort to get him going, and it kind of just feels like you won't be able to do that with Deuce. It just kind of feels like guys are taking their turns, and that works when you have Brunson, but it doesn't work when you have Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges is not good enough on ball to be playing on my turn, your turn kind of offense. Do you think the Knicks beat the Mavericks on March 25th? That's a loaded question, Jordan. That's a loaded question. At least OG is actually looking to attack. Yeah. Rick James, Tim's runs a YMCA open offense. I agree. Kevin Pierre, Johnny Bryant might have been sauce, y'all. no matter what happens in the Knicks in the postseason, I don't ever want to see pain, shame, or Precious in the Knicks uniform again. I think we could all agree on that. H22 from the opening possession, you can see Tibbs had no offensive plan from the very first shot. We got it was a deuce pull-up three from a broken play. Hawkeye 420. I know Walt Parent wants to beat Tibbs with a metal bat. I don't even like. I don't know what the hell happened. Well, I know why the draft happened the way it did. They were managing money because they wanted to trade for Karl-Anthony Towns. I still don't agree with the Kolek pick. I thought the Dottier pick was fine. H22 asks, do you have the same opinion on Dottier? No, I think Dottier is a legitimate NBA prospect. He's young and he's raw, but he has what you would want. He has really good feel. He has the ability to play defense. I think his defense is a lot better than I thought it was going to be year one. I think his offense is a little worse than I thought it was going to be year one, which is fair. He's 19 years old, shooting on the NBA line. But I don't think Dottier – I think Dottier is going to need maybe another year before he becomes a legitimate rotation piece for this team. I would like him to see in like the 9th, 10th man role that Deuce played his first couple of seasons, where if there's an injury, he could come in, and if there's not, he gets to chill on the bench. But I think Dottier has upside as an NBA rotation player. He's huge as hell. He could shoot threes. He could pass the ball. He's not a below the rim athlete. He's an average athlete, I would say. But, I mean, I think he fits the mold of somebody who could play 10, 11 minutes in a rotation next season. Like, he could play the Shaman role next season, and I would not complain about that. But, again, it comes down to Tibbs being willing to use him, and I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. So, Ashmaster, I don't see how you continue with Tibbs as the coach as the team continues to show no life. Bring Aurora back to the Garden. Yeah, like, they just look uninspired. It's the same thing, and he's going to get the same excuses that he always gets, which is, oh, there's an injury. Oh, you just can't do anything about it. And it's like, he doesn't make guys better. Or rather, once he makes somebody, like, playable, he doesn't elevate them. He gives you a baseline. If he's like the Darius Garland of NBA coaches. If you need 21 points, you will get 21 points. If you need 30 points, you will get 21 points. And that's what Tibbs is. He is a great floor raiser. As a ceiling raiser, he's not that good. He's not somebody who you could ask to win 4 playoff rounds. He hasn't won 3. He's never been to the NBA Finals. He's a very good regular season coach. If you are a team that wants to win in regular season games, Tibbs is the coach for you. If you're a team that's bad and wants to be solid, Tibbs is the coach for you. Tibbs makes more sense coaching a team like Detroit. He makes more sense coaching a team like, let's say, Orlando. Tibbs makes a lot of sense coaching a team like, it's mostly in the East. But you get my point. Like, if you want to win 45 games, Tibbs is your coach. If you want to win 57 games, Tibbs is probably not the guy for you. Has Tibbs maximized anyone on our roster? Do you think Tom Thibodeau should be fired from the Knicks regardless of what happens in the playoffs because the performances are damning? Yes. I think he should be fired regardless of what happens. I think if you get mollywopped by the Celtics, I don't know how you don't fire him. And I think they're going to get mollywopped by the Celtics. I think they beat the Pistons or whoever plays in the 6th seed in 5 or 6 games. I think they get beat by Boston in 5. I think Brunson will win you a game. And at that point, then it becomes, you should probably just fire. Because you're going to have another season where you flame out in the second round because of injury or not being able to maximize talent. And it's 3 seasons in a row that happening with a top 10 player. Nobody else deserves that kind of leash. And Dolan is not hurting for money. So you could absolutely fire him or move him to the front office because he does have an eye for talent. If he's maximized anybody on the roster, if you're asking, I think he makes guys playable. I think he's able to squeeze out I think he will put you in a situation where he can squeeze out a rotation player out of most players. I think he's capable of doing that. I think he puts guys in situations where they can contribute. I also think he overextends guys too much based on his preferences for size, defense, and rebounding. Someone like Josh Hart should not be playing 38 minutes a night. Someone like Mikal Bridges should not be playing 38 minutes a night. I think he just cares too much about size, defense, and rebounding. And while those things are important, you should not be sacrificing spacing for them. I think he's good for guys when they're first coming into the league to develop them. I think you saw it in the case of guys like Quickly, when it was, okay, you're better than what my development was, he just kind of keeps you in the same hole until you like break yourself out. And that's just not how you coach in today's NBA. I don't think that's how you get talent in today's NBA. I don't think that's how you maximize dudes. So no, I don't think he's maximized guys, but I think he's made them competent. Leon won't fire up his boy Tibbs unless Dolan forces him to. He was close to firing him 2 years ago, so I don't agree with that at all. And I do think that if expectations changed the way that they have this season, I do think there's a conversation to be had. When you look at any of those guys from Utah in the offseason, says Isaiah, I mean, not really. They're not like, unless you would get Walker Kessler, I don't really care about anybody on Utah. I don't think Clarkson is good. I don't think Sexton really helps in the ways I thought he would earlier in the season, which is my fault. I can admit that. But yeah, I unless it's Kessler, I don't have any interest in Utah dudes. Rick James, I like Kevin McCullough. I think he should play now. He's not ready yet. I also don't think he helps with the fact that this team cannot shoot. I think he's going to need some more time to become a decent shooter. If he can become a decent shooter, then there's a conversation. But I don't want anybody in this rotation who can't shoot, unless it's Hart or Mitch. Biggerstaff is basically Tibbs as seen by Cavs glow up. Retro, yeah, I agree. Take 2-1-2. I think it's the last season of Josh Hart. You are wrong. I think Josh Hart needs to not be a 38-minute-a-night guy, but Josh Hart does too many things well in the basketball court for the Knicks to give up on him, and his contract is really good. And he's just a gamer. I know he's frustrating as hell, and again, I think a better coach would be able to rein him in more effectively, but I do not see any logic in giving up on Josh Hart or trading him. I don't think you'll get anybody back worth that kind of money who can give you that level of production, especially just as an innings eater, as somebody who can contribute to winning basketball the way that he does. I think he needs to be put in a more optimal role, but I don't think they would trade him. Gotcha. Tips for Portland is a movie. Yeah, I agree. Leon's not firing. There would be too many excuses losing Celtics in round 2. That's why my outlook for this team is so bleak. I think you guys really underestimate Leon Rose and what he's willing to do for this team. I'm just going to put it at that. Nate Oates, Stan Hurley, Johnny Brown would be traded with hope for this organization. I think they need a new coach, but I do not think coaching is the something that would dramatically change the outlook of this team. I think they have the talent. I just think they need a little bit more in terms of personnel. But I do think coaching is a step in order to make this team better. Tom Thibodeau for the second night in a row mentioned the rebounding is the main issue. And Mike was out rebounded 50-38 against Charlotte. Yes, rebounding is an issue. You know what else is an issue? Not having good offense. Brian get a bigger bench next season. Me too. I think Josh Hart gets traded after the season. He makes enough money to get us a decent player or trade him for a pick and sign. You can't sign and trade him. We're not going to have anything to sign anybody with because all we have is the taxpayer MLE. Josh Hart is not moving because you're not getting a player better than Josh Hart for Josh Hart. He doesn't exist. He is not ready. He's not excused for not playing, guys. We were fucking playing Precious and Shamet. What is the worst thing happened to playing more athletic, hungrier guys? You realize they suck and then they don't play anymore. I don't think those guys really changed the outlook of this team. I don't care about these wins so much as I care about the process, and the process has been bad. I'm not saying that these games matter. I'm saying the process is bad more than anything. I don't really care about playing Kolek or McQuellar. They'll play at the end of the season when everybody is resting. So that's kind of my take on it. You're just a hard stand. I'm okay with that. I don't know if you actually picked a hard, but this team needs a 4. I do think this team needs a 4. No, we get a pick back for Hart. We're not getting a pick back for Hart, and even still, why would we trade Hart for a pick? What are we doing with picks? If you want picks, you need salary to attach to them. Where are we getting the salary from? Mikal Bridges, 15 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 6-17 field goal made. Carlos has 24, 10, 3. I don't know, he had a number 25 points, 6 rebounds, 7-19. I mean, OG got to the line, and Bridges got to the line. That was good. Bridges did some decent rebounding. I mean, Cat did as much as he could. But yeah. I wonder who's the best backup big we could acquire in the offseason. Season's right up. The best backup big we could acquire is Mitchell Robinson. And that's the root of the issue. We realize our young guys suck. We let them learn. We really learn pressure's a shame. It suck. Also, Pacone is longer and a bigger wing than Avery Bench. He has to look outclassed when he's on the floor. I don't know what Pacone we've watched, but he has looked pretty much outclassed unless it's in garbage minutes. But yeah, like, again, I don't really care about rookies playing or not. I don't think it's going to really change the ceiling of this team or the outlook of this team. But I mean, it would make a lot of fans feel better. So whatever. I don't really care either way. From Bondi, Josh Hart, the way we're losing games is embarrassing. Josh Hart also is not an indicative of Tips coach team or a New York team. Yeah, I got nothing else to say. Thank you guys for supporting. Thank you guys for coming on and hanging out with me for a little bit. I think we play again Saturday. Okay, we play again Saturday. So against the Wizards. So hopefully I'll be joining you guys after a win. But till then, thank you guys for hanging out with me, and peace.